What's the best scale, the best key to tune your guitar to? Should it be a440, the current standard tuning? Should it be a432, the popular heartbeat of the earth tuning? Or should it be something else? This is my guitar in a440. So, historically, before we reached the a440 tuning, there has actually never been a standard tuning. There's been a whole series of different tunings that are done in different places that have evolved over time. There has been a general tendency for, at least in Europe, for the scales to slowly get higher. So people have been playing in, if they were playing in 432, then people around would start to play in 433 or 434, 435, and kind of get a slightly brighter tuning that makes the sound stand out nicely. And so there was a creep of tuning rising a little bit and rising a little bit and rising a little bit. So there was a point where 432 was used, but not used by everybody. And there was eventually a point where 440 started to be used and then was standardized. The interesting thing is, even now, 440 is standardized. A lot of orchestras are not using 440, they're using 444. They're tuning just slightly sharp to get that bright sound again. Bright, slightly more sharp than what you're familiar with. So we have these standard tunings. This standard tuning, it's fairly arbitrary. It's just a tuning that was chosen because that happened to be the one that they were using at the time. Would it be better to choose a tuning that is based on a precise harmonic frequency? Maybe. Let's explore that. So the idea has been brought forward to use this 432 tuning, which is called Heartbeat of the Earth because it's theoretically in tune, in harmony, like it's not exactly the same, but it's a frequency, a multiple of the rhythm of frequency of the Earth that some people are able to tune into. I don't know if there's a physical way of measuring this heartbeat of the Earth. If there is, I'd be interested to find out about it, but I do know that people intuitively tune into it and they get this kind of frequency. And so the 432 tunes you into this frequency of the heartbeat of the Earth. It seems like a good idea, yeah? Okay, this is my guitar in a 432. But if you watched my previous video about unity awareness, the heartbeat of the Earth will bring you into global Earth awareness, which is the 6th level of awareness out of 7. It's still kind of limited. It's not full unity connection with all things. It's not universal. If you take humans away from the Earth onto a spaceship to another planet, that heartbeat of the Earth is not going to be relevant. If you take an alien creature, maybe the heartbeat of the Earth is not relevant. And the heartbeat of the Earth, it gets us tuned into that particular aspect of reality, not necessarily the whole infinite reality. So I'm kind of thinking I would prefer the whole infinite reality, the whole unity awareness, the 7th level of consciousness that's completely expanded. I'm not particularly wanting to limit myself down to something that is earth consciousness. If you do want to limit yourself down to earth consciousness, or don't see that as a limitation, then absolutely a432 tuning will work. Now, what would be a more infinite way of experiencing, tuning our instruments? A tone, a frequency that would actually be connected to something infinite and universal. Well, what I've found in terms of universal frequencies is the 9 solfeggio frequencies. By the way, calling them solfeggio frequencies is kind of annoying because solfeggio means something else. It's solfeggio is your do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and that's not what they're talking about. But anyway, they chose that name. They liked it for some reason. And these 9 frequencies each have a particular effect on our energy systems. Each one affects, some of them affect more the mind, some of them affect more the body, some of them affect the cleansing and purification, some of them are more about heart and relationships. Okay, all of these each have a particular power, and you can make kind of meditation tracks that have a particular effect by focusing on one of these frequencies. Nice, yeah? And they do seem to be quite universal. It doesn't matter whether we're playing that frequency for the earth, or for me, or for you, or for some animal, or for theoretically creatures from another star system. These frequencies seem to tune into everything. And so I like them. I think they're very much in tune with this universal consciousness. And they muscle test as strong on the body, which means that they're very good for our health and well-being. So how could we tune up our guitars to a frequency that is one of these 9 and is going to create this unity awareness experience through the music? Well, the most obvious one to choose is 417. 417 is the closest to A that we have in the system. 417 would be tuning a little bit lower again than the 432, so you're tuning the guitar down. Basically, it's around about G sharp, so you're tuning the A down to G sharp. It's about a semitone flat. Can be nice. And this is my guitar tuned into a 417. And then the next thought is that why are we particularly choosing A to tune to? Each one of these notes could be tuned, each one of these frequencies would tune to a different note on the guitar, and we could tune up that particular note rather than the A. I'm not sure if you can see this, but here is my chart of all of the frequencies and what that would mean for the different notes. There's a little bit of maths, not too complicated. In order to get from one note to the next note, like from A to A sharp, we have multiplied the frequency by 1.05946. And this is almost accurate. You would need a few more decimal places to make it really accurate, but that's okay. It's good enough for now. So each one of these frequencies would lead to tuning a slightly different note. So we could, for example, tune up the G to 396, which leads to tuning our A note to 444.5. So 444.5 is quite close to the a440 that we're used to. It's quite sharp. It actually feels a little bit stressful when I tune up to that particular note, but when we're actually playing, we're not necessarily expressing just that note, we're expressing a lot of other notes. So the frequency that comes out is the G, and the G note on the guitar then is tuned to 396. And now we have the guitar tuned into 444.5, which is a bit of a weird, stressful frequency, but the G means is tuned to 396. Which is one of these healing frequencies. Another thing we could do is take the version that gets us closest to 440. There's a 441.8, there's a 443.9, all quite close to 440. 440.6. If we tune up to 440.6, then our F sharp tunes to 741, which is one of the healing frequencies. So we could do that, and we could tune up and make something that is very, very close to our current frequency tuning. The F sharp is a little bit of a strange note to tune to, and so we might use the capo on the second fret, or we might make sure to play things in a key that uses that F sharp. Okay, so the A is at 440.6, almost standard 440 tuning. So none of the notes I'm playing at the moment are actually any of the special frequencies. But this F sharp is. So if we put the capo on the second fret, or we play in the key of A, say, other than A minor, we would get that F sharp. Interestingly, none of these solfeggio frequencies, none of these 9 healing frequencies actually create an A that is close to 432. 432 or 428 is reasonably close, 4 hertz difference. But there's no 432, whereas actually there is some of them that tune much closer to 440.